Imagine this. The stadium lights have barely dimmed, the echoes of cheering fans still hanging in the air, when the unthinkable news breaks. Travis Hunter, the Jaguars' golden boy, the pride of the franchise, suddenly announces he's transferring. But it's not for money, it's not for glory, and it's not even about playing time. No, this is messier, darker, and so much more personal. Sources close to the team are whispering about betrayal so deep it could destroy friendships, careers, and even families. Because behind the scenes, far away from the roar of the crowd, a teammate, yes, someone Hunter trusted. Someone who shared the locker room, the sweat, and the grind was caught in an explosive scandal that fans can barely wrap their heads around. The shocking claim. That teammate smashed Travis Hunter's wife, Dot, and suddenly, the team's unity shattered overnight. The Jaguars' locker room, once a fortress of brotherhood, became a war zone of accusations, side eyes, and whispers. Fans are left speechless. Insiders are scrambling. And the Hunter family is caught in the center of a firestorm that feels like it was ripped straight from a reality TV script. But this isn't just sports anymore. This is betrayal, heartbreak, and a decision that will rock the league to its core. The moment Travis Hunter dropped the announcement, fans thought it was a prank, some elaborate stunt to get attention during the offseason. But when the words left his mouth in that shaky Instagram live, with his eyes red and his tone heavy, the world realized this was no joke. He wasn't just leaving the Jaguars, he was fleeing. The reason, as the whispers started spreading, was something no one could have prepared for. Betrayal, heartbreak, and a shattered bond that would turn teammates into enemies overnight. Travis had always been the picture of loyalty. He carried the Jaguars through brutal losses. He celebrated with his teammates in the best of times. And he brought his family around the team like they were an extension of him. But behind that picture-perfect story, things were boiling. His wife, Kesha, was often spotted at games, smiling, cheering, waving from the stands. Fans adored her, and social media lit up with photos of her supporting her husband. What nobody knew was that someone else, someone wearing the same jersey colors as Travis, had crossed an unthinkable line. The night it all began was after a grueling win. The locker room was wild with energy, music blasting, champagne spraying, and cameras capturing the joy. But as the celebrations wound down, Kesha stayed behind in the players' lounge. And that was the moment the whispers say everything started to unravel. A teammate, whose name we won't drop just yet, saw an opening. And what happened next would plant the seed of one of the ugliest scandals in sports. Drama history. Sources claim Travis had no idea at first. To him, life was perfect. He was winning on the field and at home. But Kesha began acting distant. Late nights became more frequent, text messages hidden. And suddenly, her bright energy dimmed whenever Travis mentioned certain teammates. His close friend on the squad, Marcus, noticed it first. "Bro, something's off." Marcus allegedly told Travis one night after practice, "Your wife, she don't look at you the same way lately?" Travis laughed it off, refusing to believe anything so sinister could be happening behind his back. But deep down, the unease was growing. Things exploded one evening when Travis came home early from a team meeting that wrapped up quicker than expected. He walked into his house, expecting to find Kesha relaxing with a glass of wine. Instead, he heard hushed voices from the living room, voices that didn't belong there. He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. And then came the sound of laughter. His wife's laughter, but not the kind he knew. It was sharper, more intimate, like a secret he wasn't supposed to hear. When he stepped in, what he saw nearly brought him to his knees. His teammate, still in casual Jaguars gear, was sitting far too close to Kesha, their hands brushing as if nothing about the situation was wrong. The silence that followed could have shattered glass. Travis's voice cracked as he asked, "What the hell is going on here?" Kesha's face drained of color, while his teammate, bold as ever, leaned back with a smirk that would haunt Travis for nights to come. "It's not what it looks like," the teammate said, but the damage was already done. Every ounce of trust, every bond they had built on the field, collapsed in that one moment. The confrontation turned ugly fast. Kesha tried to explain, stumbling over words, saying it was a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. But the betrayal cut too deep. Travis stormed out of the house that night, his phone buzzing with calls from Kesha and even from the teammate, who apparently thought he could talk his way out of it. But nothing could erase the image now burned into Travis's mind. A brotherhood broken. A marriage fractured. By the time the story reached the locker room, chaos erupted. Some players sided with Travis, furious that one of their own could commit such a betrayal. Others stayed silent, not daring to get in the middle of the storm. Whispers turned into full-blown arguments during practice. The coach, blindsided, tried to calm things down, but emotions were too high. Marcus, always the hot-headed one, nearly threw punches at the accused teammate, yelling, "You don't touch your brother's wife, man. That's the code." The locker room split into factions, and suddenly, the Jaguars weren't a team. They were a battlefield. Fans soon caught wind of the rumors. Social media exploded, hashtags trending overnight. Team Travis posts flooded timelines with fans calling for the guilty teammate to be cut from the roster immediately. Kesha's name trended too, with people digging through her Instagram, dissecting old photos, trying to find clues about when the betrayal began. Paparazzi camped outside the Hunter family's home, desperate for a photo of Travis or Kesha, while sports commentators speculated nonstop about the scandal. "This isn't just about football," one analyst said during a heated panel. "This is about respect, about betrayal at the deepest level. How can Travis Hunter ever step foot in that locker room again?" Travis tried to stay quiet publicly, but silence only fueled the fire. Behind closed doors, he was in turmoil. He confided in his parents, who were devastated. His mother reportedly told him, "Baby, you don't deserve this. You gave her the world." His father, more blunt, urged him to leave not just the marriage, but the team. "You can't play beside a man who stabbed you in the back like that. You'll never trust him. Walk away." Those words lingered, and soon Travis began considering the unthinkable, leaving the Jaguars altogether. The teammate at the center of the scandal, however, wasn't backing down. He denied everything publicly, telling reporters, "These are just lies meant to tear the team apart. Me and Travis are brothers," but fans weren't buying it. Insiders leaked text messages, blurry screenshots of late-night conversations between Kesha and the player, fueling the belief that something much deeper had been going on for weeks, maybe even months. The more he denied, the more people believed Travis. And then came the twist no one saw coming. One of Kesha's close friends broke her silence, giving an exclusive interview to a gossip outlet. She revealed that Kesha had confessed everything weeks earlier, that she felt trapped between loyalty and desire. The friend claimed Kesha admitted the relationship with the teammate wasn't just a fling, it was emotional. It was passionate, and it was tearing her apart. "She told me she loved Travis, but she couldn't stop herself," the friend said. Her words sending shockwaves through fans everywhere. This revelation lit the fire even hotter. Fans weren't just angry, they were enraged. Betrayal by blood, betrayal by vows, betrayal by trust. The Jaguars' image took a massive hit, and suddenly the franchise was scrambling to control the narrative. Statements were drafted, lawyers were consulted, but no one could stop the bleeding. The story had grown too big, too wild, and now it was spiraling out of control. For Travis, the decision became clear. He couldn't stay. Every time he walked into the locker room, he saw the ghost of betrayal staring him in the face. Every practice, every huddle, every glance from teammates reminded him of the fracture that could never heal. And so, with the weight of the world pressing down on his shoulders, Travis made the call. He was leaving the Jaguars. Not because of money, not because of fame, but because his heart, his pride, and his trust had been shattered beyond repair. But little did he know, this was only the beginning. The storm was just getting started, and the world hadn't even seen the ugliest twists yet. The announcement of Travis's departure from the Jaguars sent shockwaves across the sports world. Fans were still reeling, analysts scrambling, But inside the team's walls, the atmosphere was pure chaos. The locker room that once echoed with chants and brotherhood now buzzed with suspicion, blame, and betrayal. No one trusted anyone anymore. It was no longer about football. It was about loyalty, morality, and survival. Travis, exhausted and broken, packed up his locker silently. Cameras caught him walking out of the facility with his belongings stuffed into a plain duffel bag. His head bowed, avoiding questions. The image went viral in seconds. Fans flooded timelines with crying emojis, messages of support, and furious demands that the Jaguars fix this mess. But how do you fix a wound this deep? How do you repair the unrepairable? Kesha tried reaching him countless times. Friends close to the couple revealed that she left voicemails filled with sobs, begging for forgiveness. "Travis, please don't do this to us," she cried in one leaked recording. "You're my husband. I made a mistake, but I love you. I can't lose you like this." But every word only cut deeper. Travis's silence was her answer. Insiders claimed he blocked her number, shut her out completely, and turned his focus toward finding a way to move forward without her, without the Jaguars. And without the teammate who shattered his trust, the accused teammate, meanwhile, faced his own storm. At first, he tried to walk around like nothing happened. He posted motivational quotes on social media, pictures of himself training, even smiling with fans. But the comments told a different story. Snake, backstabber, and homewrecker filled his comment sections. His family wasn't spared. Either reports emerged that his own relatives were receiving threats. His longtime girlfriend allegedly dumped him, and even his children were being taunted at school. The scandal wasn't just eating away at his career, it was destroying his personal life to the Jaguars. Management couldn't ignore it anymore. Behind closed doors, meetings grew heated. Should they suspend him, cut him, or pretend it was all rumors? Sponsors began pulling away, quietly distancing themselves from the franchise. One major sportswear company reportedly told the front office, "You better get your house in order." Fans don't forgive this kind of scandal. The pressure mounted and all eyes turned to the coach. But he was stuck: lose a talented player or lose the locker room entirely. No matter which way he turned, disaster awaited. Meanwhile, Travis wasn't just sitting in silence. He leaned on his closest allies, people he trusted outside the Jaguars circle. One of those was Marcus, the teammate who had stood by him from the start. Marcus urged Travis to speak publicly, to let the world know his side before the other guy twisted the narrative. But Travis wasn't sure. He was a private man, not one for public spectacle. Still, the rumors kept spiraling, and silence was being twisted into weakness. So finally, after weeks of whispers, Travis broke. He didn't do it in a press conference. He didn't do it through some lawyer-written statement. He went raw, live on Instagram again, with tears glistening in his eyes and his voice heavy with rage. "I gave everything to that team," he said. "I gave everything to my wife. And what did I get back? Betrayal, lies, heartbreak. This ain't about football anymore. This is about respect. And I won't play next to a man who broke every code we live by." Fans were glued to their screens, their jaws on the floor. The live racked up millions of views in just hours. Headlines exploding across every outlet. Travis Hunter breaks silence in emotional confession screamed across the internet. And just like that, the narrative was sealed. He was the betrayed hero. And the other player was the villain. Kesha, of course, didn't stay quiet. Within days, she released her own video, her face streaked with makeup and tears. "I made mistakes," she admitted, her voice trembling. "But I didn't stop loving my husband." People don't understand the pressures, the loneliness, the way this life can break you. I'm not excusing what happened, but I want everyone to know I never wanted to hurt him. I just got lost. Her confession only poured gasoline on the fire. Fans were divided. Some pitied her, saying she was human, flawed, and regretful. Others shredded her apart, calling her selfish, manipulative, and unforgivable. "You don't just get lost into your husband's teammate," one fan tweeted. Summing up the general outrage, things spiraled further when a shocking leak emerged. A series of private text messages, allegedly between Kesha and the accused teammate, were leaked to a gossip site. The texts revealed not just flirty exchanges, but emotional confessions. "I can't stop thinking about you." One message read, "When I'm with him, it feels fake now." Another message from the player said, "He'll never know. We're careful." These words sent fans into a frenzy. The betrayal wasn't just physical, it was emotional, deep, and premeditated. Any shred of defense the teammate had left crumbled under the weight of those receipts. Marcus didn't hold back either. He appeared on a sports podcast, his voice filled with disgust. "There's rules, man. Unwritten rules. You don't touch your brother's wife. That's it. That's the line. Once you cross that, you're not family anymore, you're an enemy." The hosts nodded furiously, agreeing that the scandal had tainted the Jaguars' entire reputation. One even said, "Honestly, the locker room might never recover from this." You can trade players, hire new coaches, but betrayal like this leaves scars. As if the story wasn't already wild enough, another twist landed out of nowhere. A rumor surfaced that Kesha might be pregnant. The internet went ballistic. Speculation ran rampant. Was it Travis's or the teammates? No one knew for sure, and Kesha refused to comment. Insiders claimed Travis was quietly demanding a DNA test. While Kesha's friends insisted she was too fragile to handle the public's attacks, but fans weren't waiting for answers, they were already crafting their own narratives, turning the scandal into a soap opera with endless theories. Paparazzi staked out hospitals, hoping for a glimpse of Kesha, while gossip shows debated whether the pregnancy was even real. One commentator said, "If this baby isn't Travis's, this story will go down as the most shocking betrayal in NFL history." The pressure, the humiliation, the constant media circus was all too much. Travis reportedly began seeking therapy, trying to cope with the storm that had engulfed his life. His close circle said he barely slept, constantly replaying the betrayal in his mind, haunted by questions he couldn't answer. When did it start? How long did it last? And the one that ate at him the most was anything he had with Kesha ever real. The Jaguars couldn't escape the drama either. Ticket sales dipped, merchandise revenue dropped, and the once proud fan base was now divided and hostile. During one game, boos erupted every time the accused player touched the field. Chants of traitor echoed through the stadium. The franchise knew something had to change, but they were paralyzed, stuck in a scandal bigger than any playbook could solve. And then came the most shocking twist yet: rumors of a locker room brawl. Insiders whispered that Marcus confronted the accused teammate after practice. Fists flew, and the fight had to be broken up by staff before it got bloody. Though the team denied it, fans were convinced it was true, pointing to blurry photos of Marcus with a bruised hand and a scowl that spoke volumes. By now, a narrative had grown beyond football. It was no longer just a sports scandal, it was America's newest obsession. A real-life reality show playing out in front of millions. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the twists, everyone was hooked. And as Travis stood on the edge of a new chapter, one thing was clear: his story was far from over. The next move he made could either rebuild his life or send it crashing down even further. As rumors of the locker room brawl spread, the scandal shifted from whispers to full-blown warfare. Every sports channel, every gossip blog, every late-night talk show was dissecting the drama. Fans weren't just watching football anymore, they were glued to a soap opera that no writer could have scripted. And at the center of it all was Travis Hunter, caught between the wreckage of a broken marriage, the fallout of a shattered team, and the weight of an entire fan base demanding answers that the Jaguars tried damage control. The head coach stood before reporters, his jaw tight, insisting the team was focused on football and wouldn't comment on personal matters. But nobody bought it. Reporters peppered him with questions about the alleged affair, the supposed fight, and the future of the franchise. His silence only fueled speculation. Behind the scenes, management was panicking. One insider revealed the front office is terrified. This isn't just a scandal, it's a brand crisis. Every day this drags on, we lose millions in sponsorships and credibility. Travis, meanwhile, was in hiding. Friends close to him said he barely left his house, except to work out in private gyms where paparazzi couldn't reach him. Marcus visited often, urging him to hold his head high. "You didn't cause this mess," Marcus told him, "but you're the one paying the price. Don't let them bury you." Those words gave Travis a glimmer of strength, but the pain lingered. Every time he saw Kesha's face on TV, every time he heard the accused teammate's name trending online, it ripped the scab open again. And then came the shocking twist that nobody was ready for. Kesha finally broke her silence with a bombshell interview. Sitting down with a famous talk show host, she laid bare her side of the story. Her voice trembled, tears sliding down her face as she said, "I know the world hates me right now. I know I hurt the man I love more than anyone. But people don't understand I didn't wake up one day and decide to betray Travis. I was lonely. I was ignored. I felt like I was invisible in my own marriage." She paused, her sobs filling the silence. "I'm not saying it was right, but it wasn't just about lust. It was about needing to feel seen." The audience gasped. Fans at home furiously typing reactions across social media. Some sympathized, arguing that the pressures of being married to a superstar could crush. Anyone. Others were unforgiving, calling her excuses pathetic and cruel. But then, the host asked the question everyone wanted answered. Was she pregnant, and if so, whose child was it? Kesha froze, tears streaming, before whispering, "I don't know." The room fell silent. The internet erupted. The possibility that the baby might not be Travis's child sent shockwaves through every corner of social media. Hashtags like "whose baby and DNA test" now trended for days. Sports analysts turned into gossip experts, dissecting timelines and speculating endlessly. Fans were divided between fury, pity, and disbelief. And Travis. He was shattered. Privately, he told a friend, "If that baby ain't mine, then everything we had was a lie." But the scandal didn't stop there. Days later, a bombshell leak hit the internet. Alleged audio recordings of the accused teammate bragging to another player about the affair. The voice on the tape laughed cruelly, saying, "Man, Travis is clueless. She's been sneaking around for months. I told her we gotta keep it tight, but she couldn't resist." Fans were horrified. If the tape was real, it wasn't just betrayal, it was humiliation, mockery, and proof that the affair had been calculated all along. The accused player immediately denied it, calling it a fake. "That ain't me," he told reporters. But the damage was done. The locker room turned ice cold, teammates refusing to sit near him, practice sessions filled with glares and muttered insults. The code of brotherhood was broken, and no one was willing to forgive. As the Jaguars crumbled under the weight of scandal, Travis began plotting his next move. Offers started pouring in from other teams. Franchises desperate to scoop up the talented player whose reputation, despite the drama, had never been stronger. Some fans argued that Travis was too damaged to be a good addition, but others insisted he was a phoenix rising from the ashes. Whispers of lucrative contracts and fresh starts spread like wildfire. But Travis wasn't ready to commit. He wasn't looking for money or glory, he was looking for peace. Keisha, however, wasn't letting go. She showed up at his parents' house, begging to see him, pleading for another chance. One insider described the scene. She was crying on the front porch, banging on the door, saying she'd do anything to fix it. Travis didn't answer. His mother eventually came out, her voice stern but calm. "You need to leave him alone," she told Kesha. "You've done enough." Kesha sobbed, collapsing to her knees, but the door stayed closed. The Hunter family was standing united behind Travis, and nothing could change that. The accused teammate tried to flip the narrative, going on social media to post a long message about forgiveness, mistakes, and moving forward as men. But fans weren't buying it. Every comment dragged him deeper, every reply filled with venom. One fan wrote, "You don't get forgiveness for this. You broke the code, bro." Another added, moving forward. Nah, you're done. His brand deals disappeared one by one, and soon. Whispers suggested the Jaguars were quietly trying to trade him before the scandal consumed the entire season. Then, another twist. A mysterious woman came forward, claiming she too had been involved with the accused player during the same period. She provided screenshots of messages, late-night meetups, and even photos. The internet exploded. Suddenly, it wasn't just about betrayal, it was about a pattern. The player wasn't just accused of betraying Travis. He was painted as a serial cheater, someone who left a trail of broken hearts wherever he went. His image, once polished and celebrated, was now in tatters. Through it all, Travis stayed quiet. His silence spoke louder than words, painting him as the stoic hero in a world of chaos. Fans rallied behind him, creating petitions, hashtags, and even murals in his honor. One viral mural showed Travis walking away from a burning Jaguars logo, his head high, symbolizing resilience. The message was clear: he might have been betrayed, but he was unbroken. But behind closed doors, the pressure was suffocating. He confided in Marcus, "I don't know who to trust anymore. Everyone's got an angle. Everyone wants a piece of me. I just want to breathe again." Marcus urged him to find a fresh start, not just in football, but in life. "Leave it all behind, man," Marcus said. "The Jaguars, Kesha, all of it. Start over. Build something new." Travis nodded, but his eyes were clouded with doubt. Starting over sounded good, but could he ever truly escape the shadow of this betrayal? As the world debated his next move, Travis faced the biggest decision of his career. Stay silent and let the scandal define him, or step back into the spotlight and reclaim the narrative. One thing was certain: the next chapter of his story was going to be even more explosive. And the world was watching, waiting for the moment the betrayed star would rise or fall. The world held its breath, waiting for Travis to make his move. The scandal had stretched beyond football. Beyond marriage yet had become a cultural obsession. Fans debated it like a courtroom drama, with every new leak or rumor treated like evidence in the trial of the century. Travis was the hero, Kesha the tragic betrayer, and the accused teammate, the villain who broke the sacred code. But heroes can only stay silent for so long, and soon. Travis decided it was time to speak again. This time he chose a televised interview. Sitting across from a well-known sports journalist dressed in a simple hoodie and jeans, he looked tired but determined. The journalist wasted no time. "Travis, the world wants to know, why did you leave the Jaguars?" Travis exhaled, his voice steady. "Because I couldn't play beside a man who disrespected me, my family, and the game. Football's about trust. It's about brotherhood. Once that's broken, you can't fix it." The honesty in his words struck deep. And fans watching at home flooded social media with messages of support. But the interview didn't stop there. The journalist leaned in, asking the question everyone was afraid to ask. "Is Kesha's baby yours?" Travis's eyes flickered with pain before he answered. "I don't know. And until I do, I can't move forward. I've already ordered the test." The room fell silent. Fans gasped. Timelines erupted, and speculation soared higher than ever. The DNA test would become the defining moment. The climax of the entire saga. Kesha, watching from afar, was devastated. Friends claimed she broke down, realizing that the love she once had with Travis was hanging by a single thread. She tried to reach out again, sending him a long letter apologizing for everything, promising to rebuild their life. But Travis reportedly tore it up without reading past the first line. His trust was gone, and no apology could bring it back. Meanwhile, the accused teammate's world collapsed. The Jaguars officially suspended him pending investigation, but everyone knew it was the beginning of the end. His teammates wanted nothing to do with him. Fans booed him in public, and former NFL legends openly condemned him. "You don't betray your brother like that," one Halaphimore said during a live broadcast. "It's unforgivable." His career, once promising, was now in ruins. Reduced to tabloid fodder and angry headlines. Then came the most dramatic moment yet. The DNA test results leaked. Social media exploded as screenshots circulated online. The results confirmed what everyone feared: the baby was not Travis's. The betrayal was complete. Every ounce of hope Kesha clung to crumbled in an instant. Fans went into a frenzy, hashtags like "Justice for Travis" and "Final Betrayal" dominating trends worldwide. Commentators declared it the most shocking sports scandal of the decade. Travis's response was chillingly calm. He released a simple statement: "The truth is out. I wish her well, but my path forward does not include her." The clarity in his words resonated deeply, solidifying him as a man of dignity in the face of chaos. Fans rallied, calling him an inspiration, a survivor of unimaginable betrayal. Murals, T-shirts, and even songs popped up online, celebrating his resilience. But the story wasn't over yet. Kesha, desperate to salvage her image, announced she would be writing a tell-all memoir, promising to reveal the real story of her marriage and the scandal. Fans were divided, some curious, others furious that she was profiting off heartbreak. The accused teammate, on the other hand, vanished from the spotlight, retreating into silence as his career burned to ashes. Through it all, Travis began rebuilding. Whispers suggested he was in talks with a new team, one far removed from the Jaguars drama. Insiders claimed he had been seen visiting another city, meeting with coaches, preparing for a fresh start. His supporters cheered him on, declaring it the comeback of the century. Marcus, ever loyal, stood by his side, vowing to follow him wherever he went. "We'll rise again," Marcus told reporters, "and this time, nothing will break us." Double quotes in the midst of rebuilding. Travis also reconnected with his family, finding strength in their support. His mother, once devastated by the betrayal, reminded him, "You're stronger than this storm. You survived it, and now it's time to shine again." His father, proud but stern, urged him to focus on his future. "Don't look back, son. Let them drown in their mistakes. You've got bigger things ahead." Fans, too, had one final demand: they wanted Travis to win. Not just games, not just championships, but life. They wanted him to rise above the betrayal, to show the world that no scandal, no heartbreak, no backstabbing teammate could define him. And Travis, though scarred, seemed ready to do just that. The scandal that began as whispers in the locker room had transformed into a cultural phenomenon. It tore apart a team, destroyed reputations, and exposed the darkest sides of love, loyalty, and betrayal. But in the end, it also created a symbol of resilience, a man who refused to let betrayal break him. As Travis prepared to step onto a new field, fans everywhere knew they were witnessing the rebirth of a legend. But one haunting question lingered in the air, one that fans debated endlessly online. Would Travis ever truly heal? Could he ever trust again, on the field or in love? Or would the betrayal that shattered his world remain a scar he carried forever? Whatever the answer, one thing was clear: this story, this scandal, would never be forgotten. And for Travis Hunter, the next chapter was just beginning. And so the dust settles, but the scars remain. Travis Hunter has walked away from the Jaguars, walked away from the chaos, and walked away from the betrayal that nearly destroyed him. The truth has been revealed, the DNA test has spoken, and the world has seen just how deep this drama really runs. But as one chapter closes, another begins. Will Travis rise stronger than ever with a new team and a fresh start? Or will the shadow of this scandal follow him wherever he goes? Will Kesha's tell-all memoir twist the narrative once again? Or has the public already chosen their hero and their villain? And what of the teammate who lost it all? Will he fade into obscurity or fight for redemption in a world that has turned its back on him? Fans are left divided, the family remains shaken, and the league itself is still reeling. This wasn't just a betrayal, which was a fracture that exposed the fragility of brotherhood. Love and loyalty in the spotlight. Emotions ran high, trust was shattered, and the fallout has changed everything forever. But here's the truth. This story isn't over, and now it's your turn. What do you think? Was Travis right to leave the Jaguars behind? Or should he have stayed and fought from within? Is Kesha's confession genuine, or just another act in her desperate attempt to rewrite history? And do you believe the accused teammate deserves another shot at redemption? Or is his career finished for good? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear every theory, every opinion, every reaction. If you were hooked on this drama, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe for more unbelievable stories and turn on notifications so you never miss the next twist. Because trust us, in a world where betrayal runs deeper than touchdowns, the drama is only just beginning. Only just beginning.